Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast. My name is Connor McKenna.
And I'm Rebecca Hart.
And yes, we are here. It's been a while, but we've had lots of technical difficulties. We've recorded this before, but here's hoping it works this time. So, yeah.
I know, and it's bad because it was with Carl last time, but he can't make it today because he's working.
Yeah.
So you get me instead.
Oh well, I'm sure that's a fine trade-off.
But the three of us will be together again soon.
Yep. For Moonraker. So, I guess we'll start off with news. Iron Fist Season 2 has wrapped up filming, as has Daredevil Season 3. So, exciting. And Bullseye is also in Daredevil Season 3, which
about time.
Is not... it's not surprising, but it is about time, because we did expect him to pop up earlier, but this, it's going to be good. I'm very excited for both.
Yeah, Luke Cage is just over 3 weeks away.
Yeah,
4
that's
weeks
really
away,
close.
And Punisher's filming at the moment, so everything's churning away on the Netflix Marvel front.
And remember, dear listeners, that Iron Fist is going to be in Luke Cage, even if it's for one episode, so we'll keep an eye out for that.
That's Connor's guess, one episode.
Yeah. Because he's been in... I don't think he's been in any of the trailers. I haven't watched the trailers, so...
I haven't either.
Yeah, because we all know the Defenders trailer didn't ruin anything at all.
You know what? I did this massive blocking for Infinity War and went in knowing very little. And since then, I've just not watched any trailers for anything. And it's not, I mean, I still go to the cinema, so I see trailers there. It's not so much a kind of stance. It's just, I haven't really felt the need to. And Luke Cage is so near that, and I know I'm going to watch it anyway. So I'm kind of like, if I'm going to watch them anyway, and, it's not like 6 months down the line, so I want any sort of content. Like, if they drop the Iron Fist Season 2 one tomorrow, I'd watch it. But I've just not felt the push to watch any. So it's just been a really weird shift in my sort of like viewing. Because normally I'd go straight dive into them.
Yeah, I guess I'm different. If there was like a Superman or like a Luke Star Wars trailer or something, or an Iron Fist trailer, I would watch the absolute crap out of it.
Yeah, I would as well.
I wouldn't be able to help
if it was a long way out. But I mean, anything. My usual rule is if I'm going to see the trailer in the cinema for a film, I'll watch it online as soon as it drops. I'm not like going to avoid them. It's just when they start doing all their TV spots and little extra bits of coverage that you don't really need. I'm just like, yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, people like us talking about movies, don't they? Because I've got an email saying you guys should talk about movies more. So.
Do they? Nice.
Yeah, well, I've asked people, and they're like, oh, we like hearing people talk about movies. So I guess this is one of the rare occasions where I've actually seen the new hip Marvel movie, as it were. I'm in, baby. I'm one with the crowd now.
Nice, I like it.
Because I've seen Infinity War, so...
One of us.
Yeah. You haven't seen it?
No, of course I've seen it. I've seen it a few times.
Oh, okay.
A total Marvel head. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was alright. Yeah, I liked it.
Okay. That's about the most you can get out of Connor about a Marvel film.
I had a lot to say about Thor Ragnarok. Like, good things. Which, isn't really relevant right now. But, yeah, I was trying to get certain spoilers for Infinity War before I saw it, but no one would give me any, so...
Too bad.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be given them, sorry. That's what you hang out on 4chan and Reddit for.
Yeah, well...
No. What can I say?
It was just one spoiler, and it didn't end up coming true anyway, so I was sad, but yeah. No, I liked it. I thought it was good. I don't think it's, like, the best thing ever, but, I enjoyed it. I thought... I really liked Grapefruit Man.
Who is
He was great. Thanos.
But in what way does he look like a grapefruit?
You don't think he looks like a grapefruit?
No, because they're yellow.
I I'm getting my fruits mixed up. He looks like a sultana, but purple then.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I liked that.
At least that makes sense to me.
Yeah. I thought grapefruits are purple. Or am I thinking of... No, I'm thinking of eggplants.
Yeah, you are thinking of aubergines or eggplants.
Eggplant sounds better anyway.
What, than aubergine? I don't think so.
No, than grapefruit.
Yeah, definitely. But, like, you know.
But I was really fortunate with Infinity War because I hated Thor. And that's not an exaggeration. I hated Chris Hemsworth Thor before I saw Ragnarok. And I ended up liking him in Ragnarok. So they ended up focusing on all the Avengers I really liked. Like, I didn't like the Doctor Strange movie, but I like Doctor Strange as a character. I like Iron Man, I like Spider-Man. So they focused on all of them in this movie. So I ended up really enjoying it. And Spider-Man as well. And I thought it was, you know, well written and stuff. And Marvel seems to have, like, its villains seem to be a lot better lately. Well, I guess, like, Black Panther and this movie,
and Ragnarok,
like, the villains have actually been
Hela was better,
pretty good.
I would say.
Yeah, she was good. I feel like she wasn't in it that much.
No, but I still think better than some of the ones that get, like, laughed at.
Like Malekith.
Yeah, well, everyone's better than Malekith. I mean, like, you know, it's not,
Yeah,
that's not very high
hard.
bar. But, like, some of the other ones that people, like, tend to not think are as strong, I think she was better than that, but you're right, she wasn't in it much. But they had a hell of a lot of stories. I mean, I really enjoyed Infinity War. I liked that. I liked a lot of what they did with it, and it didn't have. I was very worried going in about how they were going to handle that many characters, and I think they pulled it off.
Yeah,
which
and
to me was
obviously
the biggest
part 2
worry.
will be.
Yeah, of course. I mean, part 2 is going to be a huge part of it, but I'm not going into it with the same fear that the Russos can't juggle that many characters.
Yeah,
you know, I'm not.
Well, they don't have that many to juggle anymore, I guess. But,
well, potentially they do. I mean, you know, like, yeah. So, but I certainly think for the majority of the film, they won't have as many characters to juggle. I enjoyed it. I've been a few times now, but I am a huge MCU fan. So.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it, despite not being a big MCU fan. I can't say I'm looking forward to the next one, just because I don't really like the core movie Avengers anyway.
I'm very much looking forward to the next one, because I like angst and misery, and I'm hoping for lots of that.
I do like angst and misery.
Yeah, I'm hoping for lots of... I'm interested to see how they bring this chapter to a close. And I'm interested to see if they can do it satisfying, in a satisfying manner. I think they can, and I think both Marcus and McFeely, the writers, and the Russo brothers have kind of shown that they can do this more successfully than maybe Joss Whedon in Age of Ultron, etc., etc. And I'm not dissing it particularly. I just think that theirs have been better. So
I'll
yeah,
diss Joss Whedon if you don't want to.
You can. I mean, I would if you want me to, but I just think that I just think that the ones that the Russos have worked on have been some of the best of the MCU films, aside from, like, we're talking Ragnarok and Black Panther and stuff, obviously with standouts as well.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how they bring it to a close, who dies, if anyone dies, if I think it's chickening out if no one dies. There's a lot of things like that in my head, like, I'm just interested to see what happens.
Yeah.
So, but they are some, I mean, like, look, we've got Iron Man and Cap both on the playing board still, so there's no way I'm not going to be happy with that.
Yeah. I think, and we all know Strange is playing 4-dimensional chess.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. And then what else? Have you seen anything else?
For...
Films.
There was they released posters of Shazam and Aquaman.
They did, yes.
Yeah, and I think Shazam looks really good.
It's alright.
I don't know, it got a lot of flack from people, but I think it looks really good. I think you should be drinking a chocolate milkshake instead of juice, though.
Isn't it supposed to be Kool-Aid?
Is it?
I think so. That's what I saw somebody said online. I don't know, I've heard it. Zach Levy was a bit of a dick online, so I've kind of... trying not to let it affect me. But I'll go see
Kind
Shazam.
of the same with Captain Marvel, because Brie Larson was a real jerk to a friend of mine. So I'm kind of just like, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that with Zach. But like, I'm looking forward to Captain Marvel, just as an aside. Aquaman, I keep forgetting exists, but obviously I will go see it. I just wasn't that impressed with him in Justice League. Like,
it's interesting I
liked Mera in Justice League.
See, yeah, all the Aquaman stuff I was like, I didn't dislike it, I was just like, eh.
Yeah, it was a bit bro.
I mean,
I
thought,
dude.
yeah, it was weird, like, I think, because obviously with Justice League there was tonal inconsistencies, for really, really obvious reasons. If people don't know, it's because it had two different directors, and it was like a Frankenstein's monster movie, which I still enjoyed. I actually watched it recently, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, so and Aquaman I think suffered the most from that because he went from being like a serious sort of, you know, badass to like this dude bro.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to see them all. I mean, it's the same with Venom. I'll probably go see it, but I forget it exists.
Yeah. I find it interesting they scrapped the Flash movie, but not Aquaman. Like, I would much rather see a Flash movie than...
I definitely would rather see a Flash movie. And it's not scrapped. Yeah. It's just delayed.
Oh, okay. I really liked Flash.
He was talking the other day, Ezra Miller, at some convention, and he said he'd been talking to the director very recently. So...
Okay, yeah. And, like, even if they combine him with Cyborg, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm
really
fine
like
either way.
Is Ben Affleck still leaving Batman?
Oh god, not at the last thing I saw was that he wants to stay.
It's crazy.
It's just like
make up your mind.
The problem with a lot of DC films at the moment is they spent so long last year announcing a new film every day.
Yeah.
That now I'm just like, you know what, tell me when there's a trailer out and then I'll start caring about your film.
Because give me then, Man of Steel 2.
Well, you know, I believe that, I fully am with you on that, but I'm just literally, even if they announce Man of Steel 2 today, I would still be, wait till the bloody trailer's out, because, like, you'll lose the director, you'll decide different people, you know, like, you'll suddenly recast Superman, then you won't recast, you know, it will just be this whole mess of PR, and then it'll be like, as soon as the trailer's out, I believe your film exists, and when it doesn't, and I feel like that about all of them, and I really want to hear more about the Nightwing movie, and, you know, it's kind of like the same with what's going on with the X-Men movies at the moment. It's like, they've just delayed them again, and it's like, one of them's in the can, and you're still delaying it, like New Mutants. Although then they said they were going to do reshoots to add another character. Like, don't. Just, how about you just don't? You either release it or you don't. And now apparently Gambit is going to start shooting this summer, so really, where the X-World is concerned, it's the same. So it's not just me having a go at DC. I just stop announcing things if you're not ready to commit to them.
Yeah, and like, when will they learn that reshoots... I think Wonder Woman had lots of reshoots, and I think that's the only case where it hasn't adversely affected the movie, because I can't think of any movies that have had heaps of reshoots recently that have not. Well, they always say that
all films go in for reshoots. It's just a case of the big ones, and I think you're right. I think when they're the big ones, it's never helped. It's like you've either got to stick with your vision and like believe in it. And go for it. And then just market it differently. Like, if you honestly think it's going to underperform, just allow for it to be a smaller film. And once you've added the reshoots, you've upped the cost, you're probably going to then want to market the hell out of it even more. And it just adds to everything. It's just like, just chill. And don't open at a record. Nothing has to win.
It's because the executives always freak out.
Well, apparently Deadpool 2 added a lot as well, just to get some more current jokes in, and I'm like, I can do without Batman vs Superman jokes. Not that I've seen the film, and not that I'm going to see Deadpool, but that's besides the point.
Stop it! Stop making fun of Batman v Superman. It's not that bad.
It's not funny anymore.
No, it's not.
It's like, it was funny for a couple of months afterwards, and then drop it. We're all adults. There's better jokes. It's like, yeah, they're clearly going to make a Thanos joke in Deadpool 2. But, like, just the one, and just move on.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, whatever.
No,
I liked
completely get
Solo.
you,
I'll do the Solo review, because I liked Solo.
yeah.
Doesn't
I
matter
haven't
what anyone
seen
else thinks. I liked Solo.
Anyone who follows my Twitter knows I'm feeling pretty burned by Star Wars right now, so. But, that being said, Solo is something I might see if the opportunity arrives and I can see it for free again. And it's like a midnight launch, so. Just because that's so disconnected from,
It's
all the
yeah,
other ones.
I don't think you'll have the same problems with that. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
yeah.
again, it's not like my top Star Wars film of all time. It's like, all the problems with it are going to be, and that's like, that you didn't need a prequel to Solo.
Yeah.
But actually, it ended up like, I walked out of it with a huge smile on my face, and knowing that I would go and see a sequel if they made one.
Yeah.
So, you can't really ask more for it than that.
I was never a huge Han Solo guy.
No,
so
I wasn't
I'm
really
not
either.
as like worried that he'll be ruined or whatever. As bad as that sounds, like, but yeah.
I mean, I disagree with you on Luke, but like, I disagree with you on Last Jedi, I should say. I agree with you on Luke. For the most part, obviously, we clash on what we think The Last Jedi did, but it is very different when you take the Force out of it, like, and you just have a human character.
Because I mean, if you have the Force in it, then you have to, there's like all these other movies that you have to sort of. There's just a lot of problems can come up if you like try and. Anyway, I won't go into it, but. Yeah, if it's just like a small side story and it's not, the thing is, if it's not connected to the old movies, like, I think that's a problem a lot of people are having, is like, just leave the original trilogy alone. Because, but with a Han Solo movie, like, I can't see it having much impact on those movies at all.
It has surprising connections. Is all I will say.
I mean, I'm sure it has,
but not impact necessarily.
Yeah, it's not going to turn out like it's not going to retroactively change anything about those movies. I think.
I don't think it does. I think there's a couple of things it might add a slightly different nuance to, but not in a way that I think would ruin it for you. If that makes sense. Like, there's tie-ins that I don't think you'd have the same problem with that, basically.
Yeah. I mean, like, one of the reasons I didn't like Rogue One is because they made it was like a direct act of sabotage for the Death Star, and I'm like, really? That's like too meta for me, because I was just like that whole thing with the Death Star was just a fan complaint, and then they made a movie about it. And, I don't know. But, anyway, so... that's all the news, that's all the movie stuff we're talking about. Unless, I can't think of anything else that's come out recently.
No, me neither. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, because I created a poll for what people want us to cover next, and kudos to you guys. We got like 30 votes on it, so thank you very much for participating. And overwhelming victory for what we're covering next being the full Power Man and Iron Fist run.
Hurrah!
So, yay! That being said, if we get sick of it, we're gonna just do the Iron Fist essential stuff and save the other Power Man and Iron Fist stuff for a rainy day, because I've already gotten 3 messages. These are from people I know, but they're asking, like, when are you going to do Immortal Iron Fist, because I'm reading it, and it'd be cool to, so, like, because I guess the thing is, if we do, like, the full Power Man Iron Fist run, that's at least, like, 2 years.
Yeah, it's a
pretty
lot.
much. So, you guys might get sick of it, we get sick of it, and, like, if we get sick of it, it's not going to be that fun to listen to us. If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, but, like, we are definitely going to go through to the end. It's just a matter of if we're going to be doing every single issue or not. But yeah, for now, we are doing all of it. Just for now. And we are starting, not with Power Man Iron Fist, but with Power Man issues 48 and 49. So before we jump into these, I highly recommend that you at least read Iron Fist 15 in the original series and Marvel Team Up 63 and 64. Because for Iron Fist, this picks up directly after that and is referenced a lot. So, yeah. And obviously, I think it's a good idea if you read like the whole original Iron Fist run, if you haven't, because this run is pretty much a direct continuation of that. Iron Fist got cancelled and merged in with Power Man, so they're continuing all the plot threads and stuff that were in the original Iron Fist run. I mean, the Iron Fist run still ended pretty well, though. But yeah, this is kind of like a sequel to that. And on the Power Man side, you don't have to read any Power Man, because these two issues kind of cover what you need. But, I mean, if you read the first two issues of Power Man...
Yeah, it covers a lot of it, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would help you out a lot, just with understanding his character as well. But I think if you've seen the show, despite the changes, if you've seen the show, despite the changes, I think you'll have a rough idea as well of what's going on. I mean, obviously the most egregious change the show did is making him a cop from...
I thought so. It's the one that really jarred with me the most, because it just changes the character.
Yeah, it changes who he is.
Well, it changes that kind of guilt. Like, this will probably come up, but like, even him having to prove his innocence is very different when you say I was an ex-cop to when you say I was an ex-hoodlum.
Yeah, and he has a real chip on his shoulder in the comics about authority. Mm-hmm. Very good reason, and I don't know. It's just, yeah, as you said, it's just like Luke being an ex-cop is like the opposite of being an ex-hoodlum. And he didn't even grow up in Harlem either. Like, I'm not saying I dislike the show Luke Cage. I just don't think those changes were really good.
I think that's the one that really hit me the most. Is because you've made him now such a good guy, and he was also a cop. It's like he has so few flaws in the Netflix series.
And honestly, he comes off as a self-righteous jackass to me in the shows.
Well, I think that's the thing, is when in the comic you've been a bit of a crook, but a petty crook. Then
yeah, he's a jackass in the comic, but he's a lovable jackass.
It's a different, it's a different journey you've taken to become a superhero, and it kind of informs why he's become a hero for hire. Because if he's a cop, he'd have always been on that side of, I'm upholding the law. And to me, it's a more interesting journey, and they've kind of taken that away from him to make him slightly more bland. You're right. And
yeah, I just find myself a lot of the times I just don't like Luke in the shows, specifically Defenders, because he just comes off as I said, he's just the ex-cop thing just makes him too, as you said, he's too good. Yeah. And it just comes off as really annoying because of his attitude.
But the interesting thing about these two issues is we've got Bushmaster in the new Luke Cage series.
Yes.
So this is very much could be this is very much what the Luke Cage series 2 might be drawing on, are these issues, especially as we know Misty's in it, and especially as we know Danny's in it. Yes. I mean, obviously it'll be done differently because different setup and stuff, but it's kind of an interesting. This is kind of how I wanted the end of series 1 to go. I wanted get rid, do Cottonmouth for however long you're going to do Cottonmouth, but then I kind of wanted them to go to Bushmaster and deal with getting Luke proven innocent, so we could have Danny and Luke together. So it's kind of it's kind of cool that they're coming around to doing it in series 2.
Rest in pepperoni, Cottonmouth.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that is interesting because Bushmaster is in these issues, and he popped up in Iron Fist. Is a shadowy.
Well, he's Iron Fist rescued Misty from him.
Yeah. So. Actually, no, she just left Bushmaster.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that I am going to go into that because I think it's pretty funny. But, yeah, so I'll go into no, we'll go into that when it pops up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so first up we have Power Man 48, which was published December 1977. Now, the cover is, it's a good cover. We got Power Man takes on the martial arts might of Iron Fist, although the Iron Fist doesn't have any, like, bolts or anything in it, it's just the same font, that's about it. We have Luke saying, "You got some bad moves, ballet britches, but Kung Fu and a flaming fist won't stop me from bringing this building down your head." And Danny's, like, trying to kick Luke in the face while Luke's bringing down, like, the ceiling. Danny has his fist ignited and Colleen's kind of looking in the back going, "Man, they're destroying his house." And, it as is the case with many covers from this era, it does the job. This is, even if it's not exactly what you're getting in the issue, it's like, hey, this is an action-packed issue where they're going to be fighting each other. So, yeah. And, so, I'll read the recap because this is our first Luke Cage comic. We might cover Power Man 1 and 2 at some point, but, it's just an idea I'm sort of playing with in my head, so don't hold your breath. But, actually, I will say right now, for the Power Man Iron Fist run, if anyone wants to guest on our show, just send us an email. We'll be happy to have you on here. Especially any Luke Cage fans as well, if you guys want to hop on, because I know Carl's a Luke Cage fan, but Rebecca and I don't think we know that much.
Well, I've read his run, but that's about it. I read the whole Power Man.
Okay.
But a long time
Well, you know
ago.
more than me. Yeah, so there might be diehard Luke Cage fans out there that'd love to jump on because this is Power Man and Iron Fist, so feel free to hop on because we're an Iron Fist podcast, but, we want to give rep to Power Man as well. We don't want to just be talking about Iron Fist all the time, so, yeah, feel free to shoot us an email and hop on. I think we've already got a guest coming on at some point soon, so that'll be exciting. Carl's handling that, but yeah, just so I'll get that out of the way. Now I'll read this. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm using my Epic collection, but it's right at the start, so it's awkward to handle. Sorry.
I can read it if you want.
Okay, sure.
Luke Cage, wrongly convicted and sentenced to prison, reborn in a freak experiment that gave him steel-hard skin and strength beyond belief, a man who hides his identity as an escaped convict in the role of a hero for hire. Stan Lee presents Luke Cage, Power Man. Chris Claremont's the writer, John Byrne, penciler, Dan Green, inker, and Annette, I can't even read her name, Kawecki is the letterer, and Francoise Monley, colorist.
And Archie Goodwin is the editor. Now, I'm sure we all know this, but brief background. Luke Cage is created during the blaxploitation sort of era by, I believe it was Roy Thomas. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure Roy Thomas. Yeah. And he was created by Roy Thomas, Archie Goodwin, and John Romita Sr. So, but I'm sure you all knew this anyway. But yeah, and obviously it was, the martial arts genre and the blaxploitation genre was sort of dying down in popularity. So they thought, hey, let's do a test run of combining them with Power Man and Iron Fist, because both their runs were, going well in sales and about to get cancelled, so they combined them both, and it ended up being, I'd say the pair's still most successful run to this day, is being paired together, because it's a combination that just doesn't work on paper, but it worked. It really worked. It's sort of lightning in a bottle, I guess. I mean, I know we said, might get sick of this run, but it is a really good run.
Yeah, it is. It's just like with all long comic runs, there's definite ups and downs and filler issues and stuff like that. It's not that any of them are bad, it's just, that's what I mean, it went for a long time.
Yeah, I think it gets pretty bad towards the end, but that's a long way away, so...
There's still some good bits in it, but yeah.
Oh, definitely. But yeah. So, and I will point out that Chris Claremont wrote one issue before this for Power Man, and this is the first issue of Power Man that John Byrne has also helped on. So this is essentially the Iron Fist team writing Power Man.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not on it for long because they are also doing X-Men, which is easily their most famous run, and they're about to hop off to put all their efforts onto that. But yeah. So, the title is Fist of Iron, Heart of Stone. Our story begins in the quiet of a midsummer night in the elegant West Side Manhattan townhouse of Danny Rand. And it begins with Colleen Wing, one of Danny's closest friends, staying at the house while her own apartment is being remodeled. And Colleen's just making some coffee, and all of a sudden, this outrageous man busts through the wall, or door. Wall, I think.
I think wall, yeah. He doesn't look like a doorman.
And the opening dialogue is, "Heads up, Misty Knight, because Power Man's coming at you."
Yeah. Some of the dialogue for Power Man in this is really 70s.
Hilarious.
Bad, hilarious.
Yeah. He's an idiot. Like, this issue just makes him look like a complete moron.
This is not your Luke Cage of today.
Yeah. And Colleen is just bewildered.
Yeah.
I really like her outfit, though. I don't know what it is, but I like it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like a bit of Japanese influence.
Yeah, it just jumped out at me.
Yeah.
And finally it begins with violence.
Yeah.
So, the first thing Colleen does is throw the coffee in his face.
While he realizes she's not Misty Knight. Well done, Luke.
Brilliant observation.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of stupid Luke moments in this
really,
issue.
It's actually embarrassing.
Yeah. And, so then Colleen, in a pretty funny panel, starts running.
Yeah. Well, she realizes that he's got it's going to be a hard match for her.
Oh, definitely. I can see why she's running away. Like, who wouldn't? But it just looks like a bit of a funny run. Like, it's a
hilarious one. And then, but then he just, he body tackles her and sits on her. It's like...
Be cool, mama.
Yeah, and starts calling her mama. Like, I don't want to have to get rough. And it's like, even Colleen is like, this is insane. I thought Cage was one of the good guys. It's
completely nuts.
It's completely insane.
And so Luke's pretty much saying he has to find Misty Knight, quickly. There's no time to waste, and, don't make me hurt you. So then Colleen does a throw using Luke's body weight against him and throws him against the room. Christmas!
Yay!
Not bad. She hefted my 300 pounds like I weighed nothing. No wonder the man said I was the only one who could help it.
But fancy moves or no, she's only a woman.
And this isn't Chris Claremont, this is Luke Cage specifically, because Claremont's never discounted Colleen and Missy because they're women.
I know.
This is all Luke Cage.
Yeah, this is all them putting it on her. I mean, to be fair, like he said, he's 300 pounds and bulletproof and super strong.
And she's a skinny chick.
And he doesn't know what her skills are. So, I'm not gonna go off on a big rant about him saying that. Every time he says stuff like that, I just find it funny. But he's not doing himself any favours with today's readership.
Yeah.
And he's pretty much going, I don't want to hurt you, just tell me where Misty is. And she's like, what are you gonna do? And so she says, you've come a long way from temporary membership in the Fantastic Four.
That's right, Mama, but a man's gotta do what he's gotta do. I wish there was some other way. I wish I could let you go, but I can't. And I read that out because he's essentially saying that for the rest of the issue.
Yeah.
I don't like what I'm doing here, but I gotta do it. And he's always being really vague about it. And everyone's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So she's hiding behind the couch.
Which he does a little inner monologue about how he's not going to go over it or around it. He'll just go through it and basically punches the sofa away from her.
Yeah. And
it is pretty funny because then she leapfrogs over him.
Yeah. Well, Cage knows that she's faster, so he's figured, like, if he goes around, she's gonna make a run for the door. But yeah, then she just, leaps over him, but she's like, I can't handle this alone because, you know, if she makes one mistake, she's pretty much a goner. Because he is a behemoth, to say the least. So she says she can't risk heading outside because he might have brought friends. I mean, I would risk the friends.
Yeah, me too, probably. But she decides she can't.
Hasn't she, like, I guess she doesn't have a katana on her, so...
she may, maybe she doesn't carry it. I mean, she's at Danny's house, so...
I mean, she's living there right now because her apartment's getting bottled.
I mean, you'd think it would be somewhere, but maybe it's not to hand.
I guess it's not like
she was just making coffee. Anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
She wasn't prepped for battle.
Yeah. So she runs upstairs because obviously because it's Danny's house, it has multiple floors.
Yeah.
And gets into his third floor study.
And John Burns is an interior designer as well.
It's a very nice looking flat. And so she decides the door's not going to hold him even if he has to check every room. So she decides to move the bookcase in front of it.
And she uses a key here.
Yeah.
And she says it's not Danny's Iron Fist will have to do the trick. And so I guess I really like how she uses key here to move the bookcase. I think that's really cool. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be because she got the trick from Danny or she just knows like how to use her key.
Exactly. It's very unspecified.
But it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, I like it as well. And then there's another thing that shows she's not just a wimp.
Yeah. So she's wants to call the police, but it'll take too long to convince them what's happening, which is fair enough.
True, yeah.
So she needs Misty and Danny. She said she was cooking them dinner at her apartment. Blast! I misdialed.
I like that as a little additional bit. Like, you would do that if you were nervous.
Yeah, if you were being chased by...
Yeah, I like that there's, like, not everyone's doing everything perfectly.
Yeah,
so she's ringing them, and just as she gets through, Luke Cage breaks through the door.
I like how he tries the door first, though.
I know, bless him.
Like, he's like, door's locked. But, like, he didn't do that when he came in.
No, he didn't.
Like, he just came through the wall instead. It's like, well, he didn't know it was on the other side of the wall, either.
Yeah, he had no idea. And then, but on the other end of the phone, you can hear Night Grey apartment. That's obviously because if you haven't read those issues, Misty Knight lives with Jean Grey.
Yeah. Yeah, and there was a big fight involving potato salad.
It's the best. It's honestly... Go look at our review of that if you can find it, because
it's fantastic.
Danny learning what potato salad is and then flinging it at Storm is always one of my favourite moments.
And plus, it's cool seeing Iron Fist fight Colossus, Nightcrawler, and Wolverine at the same time,
for sure,
and hold his own. Like, it's pretty awesome. So Colleen ends with Misty. Oh my God, no! So that's probably a pretty good indicator that they should get her over there.
Yeah. Then we move to the romantic dinner at Misty's house.
Yep. The place looks nice, Misty. You never know. Me and the X-Men turn it into a war zone.
Last issue.
Because Danny's company owns the whole building.
Yeah.
It turned out. So that's the reason Misty and Jean didn't get kicked out.
It must be nice, right? Yeah.
And Misty, she's like, after that Bushmaster fiasco and the Hong Kong Cape with Colleen, it's good to be home. So this is where we'll get into... Okay, so the Hong Kong fiasco, I don't know what that was, but Misty and Colleen are like part of Nightwing Restorations now. They have been for a while.
Yeah.
Luke knows this too. That's how he knows them, by reputation. So they did something in Hong Kong in Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, which is another rainy day. There's lots of Deadly Hands of Kung Fu stuff we haven't done, so it's always rainy day stuff. But yeah, with Bushmaster. So Misty was hired by DA Blake Tower, who beat Foggy Nelson in the election for DA, fun fact, and Raphael Scarf, our favourite lovable mustache, useless cop, who was a bad guy in Luke Cage.
Yeah, which was...
I had a really, weirdly dark backstory, but whatever. And so, yeah, she was hired to go undercover to spawn this Bushmaster crime lord, essentially. and she was posing as his girlfriend.
Yes. Maya Corday.
Yes. So she was undercover with him, and then she overhears him talking to Davos about a hit on Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, she throws him against the wall, completely blows the cover, and runs off.
Yes, that's
and
right.
that has not been addressed.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, after that awful business with Bushmaster, it's like, Misty, I don't know if you can consider that over, right? Like, because he kind of just ran out. So that might catch up to her very soon. Like these two issues. But,
maybe.
Yes.
Let's see.
It was a pretty funny the whole thing was pretty funny, like, but yeah, so
she's being a bit flirty, and then the phone rings, and Danny's like, don't answer it, Misty. He's such a smoothie.
Don't answer it, it's probably nothing important.
But then we find out Misty is a compulsive phone answerer. Because that's a thing.
I mean, I'm gonna go on this little rant like I did with Carl. Why do you not answer the phone?
Right?
Like, even if you have like an unknown number, I still answer it because I want to know who it is.
I've had a couple of times when I haven't, but it's so rare, and it's usually specifically because I want to avoid one person who's ringing, and I know who that is. And now we've got an age where you've got answer machines and voicemail. So it's a different thing. Like in the 70s when they're writing this, the only option is to not answer it. And I think what people used to do instead was leave the phone off the hook, so it couldn't even ring.
Yeah.
Like I've got a friend who used to do that, just like put the phone off the hook if she was not feeling great, so she didn't have to answer it. But I mean, it's just the idea of being a compulsive. It's like you either are somebody who answers the phone or you're going to ignore it. It's a really odd bit of dialogue that again made me laugh.
And who leaves? Like it's like what 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably an important call, right?
Probably.
So, why would you? Jeez, Danny. Imagine if Misty was like, "Okay, Danny." You know.
Yeah.
Could be bad for Colleen.
Luckily, Misty's a compulsive phone answerer, and they both hear Colleen's distressed voice.
Yeah.
And the phone.
Let's get up to your place fast, Daddy. What's happening? I'm not sure. It could be nothing. An accident, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like, what,
unlikely.
Did she fall down the stairs when she was on the...
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah. She just thought she'd ring, and then she fell. This happens a lot.
So we cut back to Luke Cage, and he's...
He apparently knocked the bookcase on top of Colleen.
Yeah, he's like, what, you crazy? You keep using your muscles instead of your brain, you ain't got a prayer. I should have figured the lady had barricaded the door. Now if she's hurt or worse, then what do?
I'm a puppet.
Dancing to the boss man's tune. He's got me boxed in, and the harder I try to cut myself loose, the worse everything gets. He hasn't tried to cut himself loose, I'm just going to point out.
Yeah.
So, Colleen's KO'd, but she is breathing. So, because a bookcase fell on her, so I guess that'll do the trick. But, yeah, we get the shady car outside. He's been there a long time, man. What's keeping him? Be cool, bro. Going from superhero to kidnapper in one night is a heavy change for a righteous dude like Lucas.
Love it.
So we have Shades and... How do you pronounce the other guy?
Comanche.
They were in Power Man.
Yeah, they're part of they're part of his street gang.
Yeah, they were in and they were in prison with him as well, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Shades is in the show.
Yep.
Except he was a white dude in the show.
No, Hispanic in the show.
Okay.
I'm just saying he's Hispanic.
Okay, right.
Hispanic.
But he had a thing for Black Mariah, which is really weird. But
well, not that one.
Whatever.
I mean, whatever.
I thought it was weird.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, they're waiting outside. They're obviously the guys that have put Luke up to this. And they cut the phone lines the minute Colleen tried to call someone, but I don't know how they knew she was calling someone.
Yeah, I don't know either. But well.
And also, I mean, she still got the message through.
Yeah.
So
they're pointless. But they're trying. But they do see Misty turn up, and they say, that's just the foxy lady we've been looking for.
Yeah. And, they're obviously the blackmail, well, part of the blackmails, because, like, he knows what'll happen if he steps out of line.
Mm-hmm.
Because the issue hasn't hammered in enough that Luke's acting against his will. Because he keeps screaming about it every time he gets a panel to himself. So, Misty's walking up to the apartment. Don't know where Danny is, but that'll be addressed soon. So Luke actually broke Colleen's arm.
Yeah, but he set it for her.
How nice.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he recognises that it's Colleen.
Oh, yeah, because he didn't recognise her before.
Yeah.
Because the photo showed her with a different hairstyle.
Yeah, right. Really not bathing himself in glory as a, hero for hire. I'd probably hire someone else at this point.
Caveman for hire, maybe.
Yeah.
And he keeps talking to himself about, how much he hates everything. This is the self-pity issue for Luke.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's on self-pity patrol and like house-wrecking patrol, but yeah.
But then he hears someone at the door, and it's Misty.
Yeah, and she's like, I hope I knew what I was doing. I dropped Danny off a couple of blocks back.
Yeah, this is Danny's been left as backup.
Yeah, I don't think, like, a couple of blocks is a pretty long way. I know Danny can run fast.
It's not that far in New York.
Oh, okay.
Blocks in New York are pretty short, yeah.
Yeah. Colleen, you home, hon? She is Miss Knight, but she ain't seeing visitors. And by the time she wakes up, you and I are going to be long gone. And, Luke Cage is threatening her, you come with me either peacefully or in pieces. The choice is yours. So, Misty shoots him, because, she knows
quite a lot. Yeah, even though she knows it's not going to do any good.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a good thing that she does know, because she would have shot him dead. That being said, I don't know. I don't think you should, whatever. I'm not getting into that.
No.
For a comic book hero, it's a good thing she didn't just shoot like a guy that she didn't know had unbreakable skin.
Yeah. And he says, what are you going to do? Punch me. And she says something like that and gives him a good old bionic punch to the gut.
Yeah. And pushes him against the wall. And he's like, I'm impressed. I ain't been hit like that in quite a while. You keep up the pressure, and I guess I might be in trouble. But then he just, traps her arm against the thing. And then,
throws her over against a chair.
Yep, so that's 2 KOs for Luke.
Yeah.
She's out cold now.
Yeah, and he talks about Misty having the bionic arm, but he said he didn't think it'd be that powerful. But then you get, the panel that really matters. Guess I ought to be real proud of myself. I mean, 2 women punched out in one night. What's next, kids? Yeah, it's lousy, but man, I got no choice. You definitely have a choice not to punch them out, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, he just threw her
you
across
could
the room.
Overpower them, tie them up,
he
there's many ways.
He didn't need to knock out Colleen, but he just threw Misty violently against the wall.
Yeah.
He has super strength.
Yeah. It's chill. There's many ways
could kill her.
Yeah. But you do see in the background a fist coming out of the darkness.
This is what we've been waiting for.
This is what we've been waiting for. And then as Luke carries on whining, he gets see more of Danny. He's trying to persuade himself that in the game of survival, the only rule is there ain't no rules.
Mr. Cage, turn around.
and by then the Iron Fist is up as well, so.
Yeah, it's an awesome transition how it starts off with just the fist, then it's sort of like his silhouette, in shadows, and then it just zooms in on his fist, flaming, and we get the classic shakao that they love to use for the sound effects.
And that is definitely going out of a wall. There are bricks.
Yeah, the punch was so hard it is disintegrated Luke's clothes as well.
Yeah, well, okay, this is one thing I will tell you about the Power Man run, and I say this, I am not into Luke Cage particularly. I wanted to read it so I got full context for this. he loses his shirt more than any other comic character I know in that particular run. Like, we joke about me laughing about Damon Hellstrom never having a shirt, but oh my god, everything gets rid of his shirt. He gets it burnt off, he gets acid on it, and it's all to prove that his skin is bulletproof. But he's barely ever in a shirt. It's actually hilarious. Like, because, you know, like when we do it with Danny, we joke about it because he's got the costume that shows half his chest. But Luke literally always has his shirt ripped off him, or he's changing shirts. Or it's very, very funny. But yeah, he goes like right across the block into another building. And it's
such an awesome page, him getting punched out of the...
It is.
You know, this is like your money shot of the issue, really. Yeah. Like, the building looks like it's falling apart.
Yeah, like I mean, you get this amazing reaction shot from Shades and Comanche that just see him going flying past.
Yeah, just their mouths have dropped and they're just wide-eyed. They're like,
what?
And yeah, Luke is just being punched across the street into the next building, and the next building proceeded to fall on top of him.
Yep.
It's just like, whoa.
So they run off, basically. They go, let's go tell the boss.
Yeah, they cheese it. They get out of there. You know, the boss figured Lucas could handle any opposition this side of the Fantastic Four, but he figured wrong. But then Luke just gets up.
Yeah.
Like, he recovers pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
And Luke's like, no, they're Shades, Comanche, they're bugging out. They must have figured I was zapped for good. They'll call the boss, I'll tell him what went down, and then he'll, my wife, my friends' lives, they're on the line tonight, and I blew it. It's too late for them, too late for me. But before Luke Cage goes down, someone's gonna pay. So Misty's woken up, and Heart of the Dragon, Danny exclaims as shirtless Luke comes barreling through the hole.
And we see Misty's okay, because she's sitting up now.
Yeah. Her afro cushioned the impact. It's like having a big pillow on your head.
I don't think we should talk about afros.
Oh, okay.
But yes, so then there's a fight Mark 2.
Yeah. So Danny's just dodging. He does a double kick to Luke Cage's face, which, he's saying he has no fighting technique, but he doesn't need any. Hitting him is like hitting a chunk of cast steel. Worse, actually, since he can actually shatter steel. So, yeah, Danny's playing Jackrabbit, essentially. He hops onto the awning, kicks Luke in the face, cracks sound effect, but it still doesn't really hurt Luke. And then, yeah. But Danny does point out he's only human, he still has to have a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to try and use words, reason with Luke Cage. What's going on, Power Man? I thought you were a hero. Maybe it was all a dream. Just like the dream I've been my own man these past years. Maybe I'm tired of playing games. And he lifts the floor up.
Yeah. Pretty much. What you gonna do with your fancy floor work when you've got no floor to dance on? Danny's like, gods!
Yeah. So Luke is just looking to vent his anger, and Danny's the next best, like, he's the available target for that, so... Yeah. So he starts choking Danny, but Danny senses in his heart that Power Man's not a killer. So essentially what happens here is Danny's playing possum, but if that doesn't work, he's going to do an eardrum blow, which will kill him.
Yeah.
Which would be unfortunate. But luckily, Danny doesn't have to do that because...
Luke comes to his senses.
Yeah, his bluff worked, and Luke's like, what am I doing? I'm strangling Kung Fu Man to death. And, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, Luke Cage is no killer, except of his closest friends.
And Danny now finally says, what the hell are you talking about, Cage? You're not making sense.
Yeah, you're being really vague.
Yeah. And he's like, doesn't concern you, boy. And Danny's like, the hell it doesn't. This is my house, you've wrecked. My friends you've beaten and tried to kidnap. The least you could do is tell us why. Fair point. And Luke's like, I had no choice. And basically says, yeah. He's like, you won.
big man's won, and I've just killed the two people closest to me in the world. Colleen doesn't look too impressed as, like, her broken arm is in a friggin' sling. Next issue, Seagate is a lonely place to die. So let's talk about that issue before we go on to the next one. What did you think?
I like it. I mean, it's a nice introduction. You're always going to get that strange, like, oh, they meet and fight. But, it's nice because of the connection with Misty and Colleen as well. That they're friends, so she's obviously naturally going to call either Danny or Misty, the fact they're together. So nobody seems to be there unbelievably.
It's not forced.
Yeah. There's no kind of, oh, they just turned up at the flat and there's a fight. There's sort of reasons for everything. So I think it's at least being thought about,
The reason that the reason, like, for this whole thing even happening definitely ties into... like, Iron Fist and makes it organic as well, because there's ties to both characters there.
It's definitely one of my favourite meetups, like, in terms of that.
Actually, I will mention now, because we didn't mention it when we covered Iron Fist and the Thing 2-in-1, but they didn't actually fight before they teamed up, which is a very rare occurrence. But yeah, I mean, obviously the reason you want to read this issue is to see Danny punch Luke across the road.
Oh yeah, for sure.
that was like the big moment. But yeah, it was a fun issue, but man, it was so dialogue heavy, and it was all the same dialogue. Like, Luke Cage was saying the same thing.
Oh, the dialogue's pretty bad. Like, honestly,
I don't want to be doing this. I have no choice. Blah blah blah. For like the whole issue, it's like, man, shut up.
Yeah, the dialogue's not good.
Self-pity patrol. Yeah, I mean, Chris Claremont's a man of the streets, but yeah, it was still fun though. But yeah, I found Luke Cage, like, I don't think it's not a good introduction for his character.
No, I don't think so.
Comes off as a really whiny, caveman, obnoxious, like...
It's only when you read the two issues together and you get the rest of the context, but it is really whiny.
But yeah, even then, it still doesn't really excuse how he's acting in
No,
Powerman 48.
But it's slightly better.
Yeah. Artwork's awesome, though, as usual.
The artwork's great.
Thank you to John Byrne.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll go on to Powerman 49 now. So, we have the cover of Danny is looking very hurt and broken in the foreground. And he's lying down, and we have Luke Cage fighting a mystery man. Well, he's not a mystery man, but it doesn't tell you what his name is.
Yeah.
And Iron Fist is finished, and you're next, Cage, because I got the power now. I don't care if you're stronger than me, Oh, it does say his name. Bushmaster. You're going to pay for his life. Cage returns to the prison where it all began. Seagate is the only place to die. So, I guess we know that Bushmaster is the orchestrator behind this, which makes sense that he would want Misty, because he's probably feeling pretty slighted by Misty because she was an undercover cop. Well, not cop, undercover agent that,
Yes, because she left the cop when she lost her arm. Yeah.
So he's obviously very angry at Misty, and Misty never really wrapped that up. She just sort of left, so now it's coming back, not surprisingly. But yeah, so again, Chris Claremont's the author, John Byrne's the artist, Dan Green is the inker, Annette K. Moley and Klaczak are the letterer and colorist, Archie Goodwin is the editor.
And we pick up where we left off with them all... Wait a second, has Danny got a dog on his knee?
Yeah, me and Carl talked a lot about this because, like, all of a sudden there's a dog here, and he even has a sound effect like Rolf, but he never pops up again.
No, this is a random dog. Never pops up again. Ever.
Oh yeah, actually the dog's in a panel.
Oh yeah, but okay, but
a bit later, but like...
In this issue, is this dog's
It's really
only
bizarre. Issue? Like, cause Danny has never been shown to have a dog.
No.
If someone wants to correct me on this, feel free to email
us. No, I'm
us,
fairly sure I've never seen a dog.
It's just, it's very bizarre. Maybe maybe John Byrne wanted to put his dog in there or something. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe it was supposed to be like a cuddly toy pillow or something, and they coloured it wrong. Oh no, because there's actual lettering in there.
Yeah, and or was the dog left homeless by all the destruction?
Maybe they just picked up a dog on the way.
Yeah, it's just a very bizarre...
It could be Colleen's dog. Who knows?
Maybe? I don't think she has one either.
I don't think I've ever seen her discuss a dog before.
Yeah. Danny's like, why is there a dog in... It's just, yeah, you have this scene and Danny's just patting this dog. It's just very bizarre.
It's really, really strange. But they're basically, they take a couple of pages to establish what's happened in the last comic.
Yeah. So yeah, Luke's drinking coffee and he has a red shirt now.
Yeah, and he's got a kind of robe. God knows who had a robe that would fit him in that house, but whatever.
And no one's looking impressed with him. And even the first dialogue is Danny just saying, "Why, Cage?" It's like, someone's been a naughty boy. They got to sit in the naughty corner. Like,
yeah. So you have a page where it basically flashes back, and then you get Danny saying again, after what's happened, the least you owe us is an explanation. And then like Danny's like quoting his words back. What did you mean? And then Luke has to be like, oh, I don't know if I want to tell them. I have to reveal who I am. I have to talk about being in prison, which I can understand.
It's kind of fair enough.
It is, because you might not want people who've just met you that you've just beaten up for no reason, to know that you're an ex-con, I guess.
And the other thing is, well, as he says, Misty's an ex-cop.
Yeah.
Who probably still has connections, so... Like, because he does have a chip on his shoulder about cops.
Yeah, he really does. But then Misty wanders off and goes to a computer in the back anyway.
Yep, the Misty cave, or whatever.
Oh, it was a study that was once Wendell's. It even says.
Ah.
And she's going to patch the computer into an outside line, which in 1977, or 78, I'm guessing this issue was that's pretty cool. Like, outside lines. It's high tech.
Yeah.
And Luke starts to talk about his story. Blah, 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 blah.
So we finally get the explanation. So, essentially, he got a job offer by a snappy dressing dude. Like, his boss says he has a job only he can do and he did well paid. So, he gathered it would be a shady job, but he thought, I'll go along and see what it is anyway. So they go to this really awesome house. This, like, big manor.
Yeah.
And he goes in, and Bushmaster's there. And Luke Cage knows a Bushmaster. Apparently he's a European brother that's been given the Magia, which is the mask here in Marvel. Yeah. So much grief, wiping him out so he can take over. And Luke Cage decides then, okay, I'm going to walk out. Although Bushmaster says he is a villain.
Yeah.
But he blackmails Luke Cage because he has Claire Temple and Noah Bernstein as his prisoners. Yeah. And there's even a gun pointed to the back of Claire Temple's head. And yes, Claire Temple is the controversial figure in the Netflix shows that has appeared in all of them except for Jessica Jones Season 2, right?
Yes.
She wasn't in that?
She wasn't.
Yeah.
But in the comics, she's a doctor. Oh, she's a doctor. Yeah, I think she's a nurse in the TV show. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, in the TV show, she's like a hybrid between Night Nurse and Claire Temple.
Yeah.
Well, she's Claire Temple with, like, the character of Night Nurse there. But in the comic, she's just a doctor. She doesn't, like, treat superheroes or anything.
But she does date Luke, or has dated
Luke.
Luke.
She's dated Luke from the start at this point, if I'm...
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
and Noah Bernstein is the doctor who did the procedure. Yeah. But he's a good doctor. He's not like an evil doctor.
Yeah. So Bushmaster basically says, I want you to go find this woman. I knew her as Maya Corday. Her name's Misty Knight. Luke's like, what happens when she gets here? And Bushmaster says, it's not really your business.
Yeah. So this, as I said, this whole Misty and Bushmaster thing is actually shown on panel. Like, it's covered in Marvel Team Up 63 and 64. Like, this is definitely like a direct follow-up to that. But Luke Cage is like, what happens after she's here? That need not concern you. I'm a generous man with those who help me, Cage. And I'm aware that the price of a righteous man comes higher than most. So I offer you more than your friends' lives. I offer you your freedom. Gadget, show the man your wares. I don't think Luke Cage needs any more encouragement.
No, but this is a big... this is what they really need in play.
It does come in to play. And Gadget Man, he was in the first two issues, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, because I've read the first two issues of Power Man, and the one where he hits up Doctor Doom for money.
That's so awful, but so great.
It's just one of those things you have to read when you see it. You know what I mean?
You do. You really do.
Because you want to know the context. But yeah. So yeah, Gadget has evidence that Stryker
planted the drugs that got Luke convicted in the first place. So now we actually have clear evidence that can exonerate Luke is out on the table, which has not been before.
Yeah.
So you can see how the desire to prove his innocence is the motivating factor, along with the fact that his friends are being threatened with death.
Yes. And we have Shades and Comanche making a comeback.
Yeah, he says, I'm going to send them to watch you. And Luke...
Yeah, Luke says he can't punch his way out of this.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what he tries to do anyway.
Yeah.
Like when he punches through the wall to get Misty, but... Yeah.
So Luke's basically telling Danny and that, I was boxed in. I thought the best thing to do was to try and go through with the caper and then play it by ear. Misty comes back in the room and says, good plan, Lucas. So she clearly knows who he is by now. It would have gotten me killed for sure and left Bushmaster owning you body and soul if he doesn't already. What's he got on you that you're so afraid of, Cage? Okay, so Luke hasn't actually told them about the evidence. So he's in his head. He's going, do you actually tell them now, or do you lie?
Yeah.
And Luke says, I'm a con. I was doing 20 years for hard time for pushing Skag. I escaped. I was framed. Bushmaster has a videotape that proves it.
And Misty's like, well, I'm glad you told the truth because I knew that, and if you didn't,
yeah,
if you didn't, I would have called the cops. But not that I think they would have done much good. But yeah,
yeah.
What are you gonna do? Shoot him?
So they all agree they all make a plan to go to Seagate Prison and
Super Friends, the B-list version,
pretty much do their thing.
And I love this panel of Seagate.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's got a crazy little heron flying around.
Yeah, it's got like a pelican flying, which is bizarre. But I love like the mist.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff that just reminds me of like the old horror comics.
It's definitely got the Alcatraz vibe.
Yeah,
they're going
definitely.
there on a speedboat and everything. So.
Yeah. Well, Luke's by himself in the speedboat. And he's carrying, Luke, no, he's not carrying, like, Danny and Misty are on paragliders.
Yes, which is the best.
Obviously, Colleen didn't come because she's got a broken arm now.
I wonder how she got that, Luke.
Yeah, I think a bookcase fell on her.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Danny and Misty decide to help Luke because they're just good people. And they're like, you know what? We're gonna help you, buddy, even though you're, like, being a weirdo.
Yeah, and Danny's sort of thinking, oh, it's a good job Misty leaked word to the local paper that I was killed when the brownstone fell on me.
Yeah.
So he won't be expecting any trouble.
To the world right now. So Danny goes all James Bond and like just takes out this guard while jumping down from a paraglider. And Misty's overshooting the wall, but she uses her bionic arm to stop her because the non-bionic arm can't take the strain, which is like a weird panel, but cool detail, I guess.
Yeah.
Wasn't really necessary for the plot, but hey, why not? It's an action
nice.
comic.
Yeah.
You want like little action bits. Yeah.
So then they go looking for the hostages. Misty finds Claire, wakes her up, decides it'll take too long to explain things, and knocks her out again with a bionic nerve pinch. See, Luke, you don't have to throw her across the room.
There's a lot of people getting knocked out in these issues.
There's a lot. Much easier.
This has a pretty funny payoff later, actually. But yes, they're taking out the guards. Danny in his stealth outfit, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, I would just keep like the glider stuff on.
Yeah, pretty much. It was much less obvious than the massive collar.
Yeah. But he always does that. He always does like ninjutsu stealth that he learned in Kunlun, but like with his giant yellow collar. Like, I think this color. Is there a more obvious color like to stand out?
Pretty much no.
Even white can blend in. But yellow is just like.
Luke comes in like a nut, busting through doors because that's what he does.
On your toes, turkeys, because Power Man is busting through. And then he stops yelling and he goes, and I ain't stopping until I get my hands on Bushmaster. I'm assuming he stops yelling because, like, the speech bubble wasn't covered in red stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so basically they were hoping to get Claire and Dr. Bernstein before Luke made his move, but they couldn't find Dr. Bernstein, so Misty's like, we've got Cage's girl, you want to play it safe and call it quits while we got the chance? And Danny's like, what the hell, man? We got to get all the hostages.
And the tapes.
And the tapes, yeah.
So he tells her to take
Claire
Claire off, yeah, and he'll carry on.
Yeah.
Misty goes off, says she's a little bit on edge. Danny's nervousness must be catching. She's not like Bushmaster to leave loose ends lying around. If they're healthy, it's only because he needs them. Question is for what? She comes across Luke Cage fighting some guards, says I'll take some of the pressure out, starts shooting them, tells him to run for cover, and he says, little mama, that's music to my ears.
And Claire starts to wake up, and he goes, everything's going to be fine, and Claire goes, forget about me, Bushmaster's taken Noah to the solitary confinement levels, working day and night since we arrived. I was trying to tell your gun-toting idiot partner when she knocked me out.
And Misty just thinks beautiful.
Yeah, so she had valuable information, but Misty just knocked her out before she could say it, so, it's funny how there's a goof like that. I like it. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it makes it more human as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Misty basically says, don't worry, Iron Fist looking for him. And Luke's like, you get Claire to safety, I'll go. And then off Luke goes.
Yeah, so right now, I do like how Shades and Comanche have their own, like, mini supervillain outfits, by the way.
Oh yeah, they're the best.
Like, there's even a C for Comanche, but they're really just two thugs. They don't have any powers or anything, at this point.
At this point, yeah. So, Danny's moving too fast for them. He's trying to get to the solitary levels. Decides the fastest way through is to Iron Fist through the wall.
Yeah, because they're setting up an ambush for him behind the door.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if I punch through the wall next to the door, then they're not going to see it coming. And they don't. And we get another Shakao as he punches through the wall. And Comanche and... I guess the punch was so hard that Comanche and Shades got erased from existence because we don't see them again.
They certainly got erased for the rest of the issue. Let's assume they got knocked out.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Danny comes in on the room with Dr. Burstein in.
Yeah, who was in a wheelchair. Was he in a wheelchair the whole... He got... did he get put in that from the initial explosion? The experiment?
I don't know exactly when, but it's not unexpected to see him in the wheelchair. I think it's sometime around there or some other thing that happened. Like, 'cause it's a long time since I've read it, but yeah.
Danny comments that all this crazy machinery is like out of the space age because John Byrne's drawing it, so everything's out of the space age, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah,
I'm totally that.
And Dr. Burstein's telling him to get away. He's like, get away before it's too late. And then something comes and whacks Danny in the back.
Huge kidney shot that sends him flying through the hole that he just made in the...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He flies past Luke, apparently.
Yeah. Iron Fist, that kid went by here like he was shot out of a cannon. Christmas as Bernstein's lad, better equipped than ever. Greetings, Mr. Cage. I've been hoping against hope that our paths will cross again. Bushmaster! So, Bushmaster's angry that Cage broke the agreement, and for that transgression, he is going to kill him with his bare hands. So they start throwing down.
Yeah, bit of punching.
And Luke's like, that was my Sunday punch. If that don't take him, I don't know what will. See, I'm not familiar with Luke's...
I've never heard him refer to a Sunday punch before.
Okay, so that's a new thing, yeah.
He's talking about how hard Bushmaster's hitting him, so he realises from this that Burstein has probably been being forced to make Bushmaster
Second
stronger.
Power Man.
Yeah, another Power Man.
Yeah.
Burstein says, I had no choice. He was threatening to torture Claire.
It's like,
I'm
forgive me,
sorry.
I'm an old man.
But then he goes, oh, unless Iron Fist, wake up, please. So he goes over to
Ow.
Iron Fist, who's nursing his head. Says, Power Man's fighting for his life. Iron Fist is then carrying Burstein away. He doesn't try to explain as he leaves.
Yeah, because Luke Cage is like, stay out of this, kid. Bushmaster's all mine. And he goes, I understand, Cage. And he carries Noah Bernstein out. And Bernstein's hammering on his chest going, you coward, what the hell? But Danny recently had his mano-a-mano duel with Davos.
Yeah.
So like, he understands that it's a matter of, Luke Cage proving that he's...
Can do this.
Like, yeah, because it was like, Danny needs to prove that he could fight without the power of the Iron Fist. Like, Luke needs to prove that he can fight, a guy on equal footing, so to speak.
Yeah.
Otherwise... Yeah. Although there's a lovely thing where he gets hit over the head with a beam, and the sound effect is just like, Kong.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. But Luke psychs himself up, he gets back, and they're fighting over, God, what do you call those things?
I called it a girder, but Carl kept correcting me. But Carl's wrong, so I'm going to keep calling it a girder.
I think it looks like a girder. I don't know where you'd get a girder on a boat, but like whatever that bit, it looks like a girder, but a boat version.
Yeah.
And they're basically fighting over it.
Yeah, my girder.
Yeah. Until suddenly the beam punches. Oh, it's a beam.
If you look at when they're fighting over the girder, it looks like there's a silhouette of like a dude behind them.
It does, but I think that's just an effect.
Yeah, me too.
Because it has to be. So they punch this girder thing through the chemical containment, and all the hot chemicals come out. And Luke notices it's the same gunk that helped him turn into Power Man. It's burning me inside out. Blah blah blah. Now we're fighting.
Yeah, and it's like it's even burning them, despite the fact that they have unbreakable skin.
And then he notices that it's getting too near the power lines.
It's like, uh-oh, and then it hits the power line.
Yeah, and you get
like,
a nice electrocution, a bit of Kirby crackle, a little bit
they turn into
fuzzy.
super power men.
Yeah, pretty much.
They don't, but there is a huge explosion.
Yeah.
Just a whole chunk of the Seagate wall just like blows. Gods of Kunlun.
Yeah.
That explosion from the lower levels of Cage was fighting. Bushmaster and Misty somewhere inside. And so...
Yeah,
Danny's
he's wondering why he can't find Misty, so he's trying to run back to find her. He finds Luke under a collapsed section of the prison.
Yeah, and Luke's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Danny's like, that's incredible. And you've won too, your friends are safe.
And then Luke's like,
yeah,
but without a tape, I'm still no more escape con. He's like, so grumpy, be happy, take the win.
God, the self-pity patrol is in full force. Hey Luke, my mum was eaten by wolves.
Wait till he finds that out, like.
Before my very eyes.
But then Misty shows up and says, it's okay, maybe it won't matter. He's like, you're going to wave your magic wand and make everything cool, mama? And she says something like that. She's holding up Gadget Man.
Yeah. And Gadget Man still has the tape.
Yeah.
And she's like, he has a desire to see justice done. He's like, well, not exactly like that. And then she points the gun to his head and cocks the trigger. And he's like, yeah, here's the tape. I'm like, whoa. When I read that, I was like, whoa. That was crazy. I expected her to like threaten him with like a punch or something, but like just pointing a gun to his head was pretty funny.
Then all the heroes take off on their boats. We find out Comanche and Shades are locked in a cell. Danny or Misty, doesn't matter, says Colleen will be furious at having to miss it. That must be. I don't know. It can't be Luke saying that Colleen will be mad. But anyway, somebody said, my only regret is that Bushmaster died by accident. I'd like to have done the job myself. Oh, that's Misty saying it then. And Luke says, you think he's dead, Mama? We never found his body. And then finally, Misty snaps and says, Cage, I'll say this once. I'm not your mama, sweet or otherwise. Dig? And I'm like, yes, Misty. Say it for all of us.
As for Bushmaster, he's probably buried under tons of rubble. No one could have survived that explosion. Then Luke aptly points out, well, I did. So, there's no reason Bushmaster couldn't survive that. So there's a couple things I want to point out. Cage is saying, I've never been hit this hard when he's being hit by Bushmaster. Mm-hmm. And it's like, dude, you got punched across a street last issue. Like, pretty sure that was harder than what Bushmaster was doing.
I'm pretty sure too.
No, I think that was just like WWE commentary. They're like, I've never seen anything like this before at every new pay event because they got to make it seem exciting. So he can't say this is the second hardest punch I've ever had.
He has no
Actually,
memory.
he could because they did that. Yeah, he's an idiot. And there's another thing when Misty and Danny are taking out the guards near the start. Misty's like, he's changed so much since he fought Still Serpent. The innocence is gone. And I'm like, well, when did Danny have innocence? Like, he was not street smart.
No.
Did he get street smarts by losing the
maybe
battle? I think Danny was always crazy,
not trusting people as much, but he seems fairly trusting in this, given the circumstances in which Luke turned up in his life. He's still like, I don't sense that he's a killer.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, he goes and rescues, Dr. Bernstein as well, so, I thought that line was a bit weird, but whatever. What did you think of the issue?
I thought I like them as a pair of issues. I don't know if I could say which one I like the most. I like the team all coming together and working together, and I like the next issue a lot as well, so, they're definitely ones I'd recommend to everyone. Luke's better in the second one, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you gotta read this if you're an Iron Fist fan. They're important 2 issues.
Yeah.
This is still Power Man, and the next issue is when it starts being Power Man and Iron Fist. And next issue is Freedom! Cage's first night as a free man may turn out to be his last. That is, if Stiletto and Discus have anything to say about it. Oh no, Stiletto. What will they ever do? I love that last panel though. Look how big Danny's collar is.
It's so big. It's like peak. This is like peak collar days for him.
Yeah, it's like because there's a big boat. There's a boat. The boat's in the distance, and it's just all their little shadows. But Danny's shadow is huge because of the collar. He looks like head and shoulders taller than everyone else. Art was great. That's to be expected though.
Yeah.
But just because it's to be expected, we're not going to stop pointing it out. They're a good 2-parter. I didn't mind going through them this time as much as last time.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the touch of Misty knocking Claire out was,
class.
Yeah, and that ended up just biting him in the butt. As you said, it's a very human mistake to make during this. It just makes the whole sequence feel more organic and exciting. It's I don't know, it's a little touch, but little touches do that.
They're nice. We're so used to them not ever having any flaws and it all just working.
Yeah, it's so formulaic.
Yeah. It's like the thing with the phone in the first one. It's just they're things people would actually do, good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's just little things like that add a lot more than you'd think to stories like this, because otherwise it's just a straight up action story, But yeah, no. Good 2 issues. I guess, do you have anything else to add?
Nope. I think I'm good. Read them, everyone.
Yeah, it's a shame Colleen missed out on the big party at the end, but,
She'll have her moment.
She had some pretty cool moments in the first
She did, actually.
issue. So yeah, because I'm a big fan of Colleen. Still don't like how they went the romance route in the show. We knew it was going to happen, but it's a shame. But But whatever. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed that. If I sounded a bit off, I'm sorry. It is my second time covering this. But I'm sure Rebecca picked up the slack for me.
We'll see.
So yeah, until next time, may your skin become unto like a thing of iron.
And take care.
Peace. Just putting this in now because, well, we forgot to do it earlier. But you can pick up this issue in the Iron Fist Essential Collection. It's not in the Power Man and Iron Fist Essential Collection. You have to get Iron Fist to read these two issues if you're getting the Black and White Essentials. You can also get it in the Power Man and Iron Fist Epic Collection Volume 1, which is still in print. So, yeah, go grab that. It's a good book. And the single issues, 48 goes for a bit more than 49, but you can get them both relatively cheap, but I would recommend just getting the Epic Collection to save yourself some money. It seems to be the cheapest option. And we also had a new theme song at the start of this episode, so I want to thank Peter John Sikorsky. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but I'm pretty sure I got it right. But thank you very much for the new intro for the Power Man and Iron Fist run. Peace, everyone. Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney. Any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders. We do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, anything you want really. It doesn't even have to be related to Iron Fist. If you don't want it read on the air though, make sure you mention that. You can also find us on Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon, our Twitter, at Iron Fist Podcast, our SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon, hyphens where the spaces are, our YouTube, Connor Carl, just search Iron Fist Podcast and you'll find us real quick. We are also on iTunes. If you find us there, give us a review and rate us. If it's less than 5 stars, please say why so we can improve the show. And we're on Podcast Garden in the literature section, and last but not least, head over to our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. That's where I put all the show notes. And finally, thanks to you guys for listening.